started. I vote that we call the meeting to order at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Can someone second?
I second.
Excellent. Go ahead and take it away.
Good evening, leaders. I hope everyone is remaining safe, well, and depending where you are located, warm. I am Dr. Jeannette Devine, and I would like to welcome you to the NSLS Walden University Chapter Career and Professional Development Committee meeting of 2021. I am the chairperson of this committee, and tonight I am joined by NSLS Vice-President Walden University Chapter Krysten Griggs, Career and Professional Development co-chairperson Dr. Ricardo Pineda, and of course, all of you. Thank you for your time and participation. This meeting will focus on the reintroduction of this committee, specifically pertinent aspects. Again, welcome to 2021. I know 2020 was a year for all of us, and I am glad that you are joining tonight to this meeting to make sure that you stay the leader in your career and professional development, no matter any circumstances. I did see something in the chat saying that is this recorded, and yes, it will be recorded. To begin, I would like to give you a brief overview of my career and professional development that is still ongoing. I will start with my education. I am a graduate of the University of Maryland, College Park, with a Bachelor's of Science in Family Studies. Now it's actually called School of Public Health. And while I was doing my undergraduate work, I interned at the House of Ruth Domestic Violence Legal Clinic. I received my master's from a historical Black college, Bowie State University, in counseling psychology with a specialization in Adlerian theory and psychotherapy. During my graduate work, I also did an internship, and this was also at the House of Ruth Domestic Violence with the Counseling Center. And recently, I am a graduate of the Walden University Doctorate of Business Administration program within the healthcare management specialization. My professional development is in the federal government. I have almost 20 years in the federal government. I started at the United States Department of Agriculture. Then I went to Veterans Affairs Medical Center, Mental Health Clinic. I then went to Department of Commerce, and that's where I was grounded in ethics. And currently I'm at the FDA, which is under the Health and Human Services. Within my federal government services, I always made sure that I took the opportunity to be enrolled in leadership programs. I thought that was very good to help me grow within my position and outside of my position. When I was at Walden University, that's when I was nominated to become an NSLS member. And this has been a great experience for me. I've learned a lot, and it really helps me to grow as a person, professionally and personally. I guess I should just say with my doctoral study at Walden University, it does piggyback to my federal government experience in ethics. My doctoral study was on exploring the ethical leadership strategies of bank managers, and my second residency was in England. So that's a brief overview of my career and professional development. The path that I sought out of high school was actually to be a medical laboratory technician, doing 2 years at a community college and not being able to pass human anatomy and physiology. Memorizing the bones, I was okay after the second go around that class. But when it came to the third time during that class, memorizing the muscles, I could not do. So I say that sometimes we are on a path within our career that we have a destined to reach, but sometimes along the way, you network and you do internships, you do practicums, you do different jobs. And that's when you can tell what the future may hold for you as it goes to your career and professional development. So with that being said, I'm going to now give Dr. Ricardo Pineda the opportunity to talk about his career and professional development as the co-chair of this committee.
True leadership is about servanthood. It means to put the interests of others at the center of our decisions. Hello, I am Dr. Ricardo Pineda, President of Leadership Emotional Development and a co-chair of the Career and Professional Development Committee for the National Honor Society of Leadership and Success. I am an electrical engineer specialized in artificial intelligence, and I am also a transformational leader serving the aerospace and the manufacturing industries for the last 40 years. As an engineer, I had served at NASA and served at a major manufacturing corporations. I'm a graduate from the California State University Northridge with a bachelor's in electrical engineering, earned a dual MBA in technology and globalization management from the University of Phoenix, and I also obtained a doctoral degree from Walden University School of Management. But most importantly, I am honored to be your servant and hope to awake your desire to never stop dreaming, becoming a better leader throughout your career development process. So welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Pineda. We would like to revisit the mission, vision, and goals of the committee that were established by the previous chair committee. Thank you, Krysten, for going to this slide. So for the mission of the Career and Professional Development Committee is to facilitate training and development that represents the mission and standards of NSLS. Through this mission, collaborations with other committees will occur to establish a well-rounded approach to career and professional development. Next slide, please. The vision of this committee is to provide members with professional career development guidance, which can be used to position the member for success and promote encouragement to maximize their potential in meeting their goals. This committee will also offer members an opportunity to further develop professionally through hosted events, mentorship guidance, and direct access to developmental materials that support the achievement of career professional excellence. Next slide. So as you can see from this slide, these are our objectives and goals. Again, the previous chairs for this committee had laid the groundwork, and we definitely want to reestablish this with you all. So the goals is, of course, with this committee is to provide professional guidance, resources, and mentorships to members. We will focus on developing and maintaining a resource database to retrieve professional development resources, facilitation of knowledge enhancement for career and professional development through committee meetings, just as this one tonight, blog publications, professional development workshops, and guest speakers. We will prepare you to achieve professional prosperity through developing a reliable research-based career development roadmap. At this point, I would like to ask Krysten if you can actually go to our blog site page. You'll actually see a picture of Dr. Divine, myself as the chairperson, and Dr. Pineda. And then you can read that to peruse a little bit more about us as far as what was stated tonight. And so the mood board that she's going to show is something that we had developed, all the committees developed to kind of help in proceeding with your development and leadership with your career professional development. So I'm going to ask the co-chair, Dr. Pineda, to actually speak upon this mood board to the committee tonight.
We invite you to visit our blog and get a chance to know us better and visualize how to lead your career through your mood. We're eager to assist you exploring, developing, and reviewing several characteristics that will impact your career moving forward. People with natural leadership abilities draw others to them and are very influential. Why? Because leadership is influence. If people can increase their influence with others, they can lead more effectively. So, in order to become a good influential leader, we all need to adopt certain attributes. With that in mind, be prepared to adopt and practice attributes such as being creative during your developing and adopting emotional intelligence competencies, which combined with your ethical convictions and integrity will make you the shining star that everybody wants to follow. By adapting the competencies that you need, you will be able to recognize others' feelings as well as your own feelings and prevent many accidents that may end up in fatalities due to safety errors. You will be able to manage your emotions so others don't get intimidated by your attitude and rather come to you for advice when they are hurting. You will need to develop your talents to grow a solid foundation that will make you the real team member you want to be. I would like to remind you the important words of President Abraham Lincoln, and I will quote: "The best way to predict your future is to create it." So let us begin by creating yours tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pineda, for providing a brief overview of our mood board. Please visit our blog site because most of what Dr. Pineda talked about is actually shared on the blog site, but he did add some more information that is very beneficial. So definitely that's another way for you to keep checking on our blog site, but we'll get the information to you. Thank you, Dr. Pineda, for doing that. Peace. Okay, so we're going to hold this slide really quickly. So again, we're looking at new initiatives to provide. Can you share the blog site? Yes, we'll actually share the blog site address so you guys can get to it. And again, that's for the Career and Professional Development Committee, as well as all of our partnering committees. It's on the Walden University landing site under student organizations, but we'll make sure that you guys get the information. Okay, thank you for all your comments. It's really helpful. Again, like I said, we're looking at different initiatives, so we definitely want to have guest speakers. We're going to do a lot of materials on our blog site, so please make sure that you always tune into that site. Trainings, again, workshops, networking, and other resources that can help you be the best leader within your career and professional development. Next slide, Krysten, please. Okay, so this is a journey. As you know, when it comes to your life, it's a journey no matter what you set out to achieve. But in your career and professional development, sometimes it just doesn't take one person, yourself. It actually takes a collection of individuals. So with that being said, and getting to the point of this meeting tonight, we need you to be members of this committee. So to make this journey more important, we need your contributions to members. As you see on this slide, we like to break out the committee into 5 subcommittees. 25 committee members in each subcommittee would be ideal. So we're looking for contributions. Everyone is looking to make their career and professional the best that they can. So sometimes what has worked for someone may not work for the other person, but they can use it to tweak what they want to achieve. So networking is key, and networking is key, especially in your career and professional development. So again, we are welcoming members to this committee. Anything that you'll be able to contribute, we would love to hear, because we all have a career and profession. It may not be the one that we like, but right now we do have a career and profession, and we just want to grow as individuals. As you grow as a leader, you definitely grow in your career and professional development. I hate to keep making that a record that keeps turning, but it's just very important, because when you love the job that you have, it's not like going to a job anymore. And sometimes it takes steps to get to where you want to be, but everything, I believe, is a collection. You never know. Thank you for saying count me in. You never know where you may end up. Like I said, my career path, I had to do a lot of different steps to get to the agency where I'm at now, not knowing that a pandemic will be upon us and me working for FDA. I'm extremely busy, but it is for the better good. And I just see that everything that I had to do in the past led me to where I'm at now. And hopefully I can continue to grow, but I would like to grow with you all too. And I would want you all to grow as well. So this is the structure of what we're trying to build. Next slide, Krysten, please. So with the subcommittees, there was a question in regards to this, what are the subcommittees? We will definitely work that out once we receive information from members who want to join. So more to come with that, but we're definitely trying to branch out This slide, it talks about new interests, new project ideas. So you'll find a way to contact us. Walden, I just want to make sure that's the correct. Yes. So it should be. So it's
the correct one. Yes.
Okay. So
yeah. So if they're interested in joining in the subcommittees, or if they're interested in being a guest speaker, keynote speaker, if they're interested in hosting a workshop, I think someone chimed in the chat and stated that they, own a business that, essentially caters to career and professional development. What you're going to do is just follow the instructions that you see here. So your first name, your title, occupation, degree, ongoing, if you completed it at Walden, and provide no more than about 2 paragraphs or a brief 5 to 7 sentences describing your suggestion or how you'd like to contribute. Again, if you're interested in leading a project, if you're interested in spearheading something or serving as a leader on any of the subcommittees, send an email with career and professional development in the subject line to the Walden U NSLS at mail.waldenu.edu.
Okay, thank you. Great. So I see someone said, please repeat, but this slide is here with all the information that you need to join this committee, as well as the email address. Again, we would love to have you as members. Dr. Pineda, would you like to say anything before we move on to the next steps?
Yes, of course. I'd just like to emphasize that as the 21st century management styles continue to grow into a decentralized organized infrastructure, the absence of true leadership is beginning to show in our society, and our nation deserves better. We see with our own eyes that true leadership continues to fail at all levels of our industries and governmental institutions. So there is a very dynamic, growing recognition that committed and proven leadership is more important now than ever before. That is the only way we leaders can stand up for looking at what is right and know what benefits our own careers. Therefore, we need to look back into our basics and remember, how did we get this far? And seek, of course, for effective leadership development programs and become more competent and let our careers grow. An individual with high emotional intelligence will have the dynamic leadership skills, good relationships with his or her superiors, subordinates, and peers, but most importantly, the leader will have a high degree of personal satisfaction and success. So once again, I'd like to invite you all to become familiar with our career development group, so together we can overcome all obstacles that make us better individuals and begin to really lead others by example.
Thank you, Dr. Pineda. Krysten, there's some messages about the slide presentation.
We just ask that you hold your questions to the end of the presentation. There is a Q&A segment, and then we'll go ahead and answer all those questions at that time when we open up the floor for questions.
Okay, good. This is Dr. Pineda as well as myself first meeting. So Krysten is definitely chiming in for us as the vice president. So we appreciate it. If you can show the video, Krysten, I do reference another email address, the Gmail. So it's your call if you want to show the video.
We'll wait on that one, just because we only have like a few minutes left. And we'll be brief about it after the meeting. But you all can continue on and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, great. So at this time, before I get Dr. Pineda to talk about the affirmation and close out, I would like to open up the floor to questions and comments.
So what we can do, Dr. Devine, if it's okay with you, I'll scroll back up through the chat bar and see because I did see that we got a few questions come in. I'll go back up through the chat bar and see if we can answer some of those questions. So a few of the questions that I see here. Okay, the first one that I see here, and if you do have a question, feel free to raise your hand in the Zoom feature. So I do see some individuals who asked about serving on the committee. So just to provide a little bit more clarity on the subcommittees, this question was from Phyllis. So you can serve on the committee. You can serve on a subcommittee without being inducted. Okay. You cannot serve as a chairperson or co-chair without being inducted, but you can serve as a subcommittee member. You can serve as a subcommittee leader without being inducted. We do have an induction ceremony coming up March 5th. So that still gives you plenty of time. That's in a few weeks. So that will still be plenty of time for you to connect with Dr. Pineda and Dr. Divine to be able to put together your interests and be able to move forward. So that's perfectly fine. If you are interested, and I do want to preface this, if you are interested in serving as a subcommittee leader, so the breakdown that she had, I'll go back to it. So if you're interested in serving as a subcommittee leader, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for 5 people specifically to serve as a subcommittee leader. So if you're looking to serve as a subcommittee leader, then you'd send an email to the Walden U NSLS at mail.waldenu.edu with your first and last name, your current job title, occupation, your current degree, if any, or if you're an alumni, the degree that you completed. And then you would provide a few paragraphs as to your interest in being a leader, or you would also send this email if you're interested in leading a project, being a guest speaker, or hosting a workshop. So if you just want to join in as a member of the Career and Professional Development Committee, all you do is just be on the lookout and you'd watch the blog page to look out for any meetings or events that are coming up. So if you want to serve as a member, you just attend the meetings, the committee meetings like you are today, to kind of join in and participate in working under the subcommittee leaders. So the 5 subcommittee leaders. I hope that was clear. That makes sense. And you do not need to be an inducted member to be a subcommittee leader. Let's see, I'll scroll down a little bit more. Let's see. Participate. Oh, okay. What will this also count as? Will this also count for the advanced leadership certification? I'm not sure, Sabrina, what that question is in reference to. This does not count towards the advanced leadership certification. Thank you for the information. Okay, let's see. Okay, just to clarify, just to become a member, we will still need to send an email to the recipient address. No, you do not. To be a member, you do not need to send us an email address. If you are interested in being a leader, you can email the Walden U NSLS at mail.waldenu.edu. Okay, will you send out the slide deck? Yes, we'll send this slide deck out along with a recording of tonight's presentation.
Are you doing hands, or should I just write my question in the chat?
Well, some of the questions in the chat box were sent a little bit earlier. So once we get caught up, then I'll start taking hands. And a lot of it is kind of the same question, so it's going through pretty quickly. Okay, so someone asked about the time commitment. So the time commitment is not necessarily a weekly basis. Our chairpersons commit about 8 to 10 hours a month on committee related activities. As a subcommittee leader, it'd probably be more likely significantly less than that. Because again, you'd just be working in collaboration with the other members and the committee co-chairs and chair, this committee chairperson and co-chair. Okay. All right, so it looks like we're all caught up with the questions until we kind of ended it here. So I'll go ahead and start taking questions. We can start taking questions, Dr. Divine, of anyone who's raising their hands. I don't see any hands raised anymore. Or maybe I'm missing it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. T. Rhodes O'Neill. That's the first person that I see. If when you
Yeah.
ask your question, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what program you're in or what program you've graduated from.
Yes, it's through Walden University. I graduated with a PhD in educational technology. And I got inducted in NSLS through Walden. I was invited to the Honor Society through there. And I was just wondering, I think the question did show up in the chat, but I was just wondering how the subcommittees are going to be decided, and if we have a say, or if we can help develop them.
Dr. Devine, did you want to chime in on that, or on what you and Dr. Pineda's plan was with the development of the subcommittee leaders?
Yes, we definitely wanted to get a pool of who was probably interested in doing a leadership with the subcommittees. And from that, we definitely welcome any ideas and any structure. So when you do email that, if you can put any ideas that you have that can help us formulate the subcommittees a little bit more further.
And that's, you have to be an inducted member to be a chair or a co-chair.
That's
Right.
correct, Krysten? Right.
Right. So to be, like, for instance, in Dr. Devine's position and Dr. Pineda's position, you would have to be an inducted member in order to be eligible to be selected for their positions. But to be a subcommittee leader and working under the chairperson and the chair of the committee, you do not have to be an inducted member. And
Okay.
to answer Sabrina's question, I'm sorry you clarified that for me. I forgot that there were opportunities to do community service through the advanced leadership certification. So technically this actually does count. So if you'd like, I can sign off on your hours. What you could do is you can email the person who approves each of the modules, describing essentially what your roles and responsibilities are within this specific committee. If you do serve as a leader, or if you do dedicate time to participating in projects, you would just need to demonstrate your contributions to the projects and the roles that you played in that in order for us to sign off on it. But yes, this can count as volunteer hours.
So can that work as an executive? If I was a chair, would that work as me leading a community service project?
Well, if you're interested in doing that, that is something that we spoke about at our social change and community service committee for your Better World project. You actually can do that for the social change and community service committee. In that committee, you can actually recruit members to be able to complete the full Better World project. So the next social change community service meeting is actually in April. If you're looking to maybe complete that a little bit sooner, you can email the Walden U NSLS at mail.waldenu.edu again, and then title the subject line Social Change Community Service, and then we can get that over to the chairperson of the Social Change Committee. But yes, you can do that as well.
Thank you.
No problem. Next, I see Elizabeth's hand raised. Elizabeth, whenever you're ready to ask your question, if you could introduce yourself and tell us what degree you are currently taking or earned with Walden.
Yes, my name is Elizabeth. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, my name is Elizabeth Ibolum. I'm in Walden right now. I am in the nurse practitioner psych program. Maybe finishing this year, I don't know, depending on how it goes. BSN from UT Arlington, currently working at Dallas Behavioral Hospital as a psych nurse. I would love to participate in this, but I've never done this before. I was trying to find out what it takes and if we'll have people to nurture us, to teach us on what to do. That was my question. Thank you. I'll turn off my mic while you answer.
Okay, thank you. So Dr. Devine or Dr. Pineda, did you guys want to chime in on her question?
Sorry, I was on mute. So with this meeting tonight, we were just definitely trying to get the reintroduction pursued, and we definitely wanted to get the collection of people that are interested in serving in any capacity with this committee, whether it's subcommittee, whether it's whether you're a member or not. With that being said, we will definitely have to have different meetings for those that want to be involved in the subcommittee. And then the membership, as far as the different areas that we're going to be talking about or training about, that will come in future meetings.
Thank you, Dr. Devine. So to kind of add to what she mentioned as well, so if you're interested in serving as a subcommittee leader, there is not necessarily a subject area, right? So the goal is essentially just to kind of bring people together in collaboration, right? To bring people together with the collective mindset of being able to build events, build projects, build ideas, build things centered around the Career and Professional Development Committee. So if you're someone who is good at, networking, if you're someone who, has a niche for being able to bring people together, if you're someone who enjoys conducting team building, if you're someone who's looking to kind of build some of those leadership skills, if you're someone who, likes to put together PowerPoint presentations or projects, if you like to create flyers, if you're creative, this is just an opportunity for you to be able to join in a collective goal with other like-minded individuals and be able to positively contribute to that. So you won't necessarily be receiving training or nurturing on how to be a leader. The goal of the NSLS overall is to kind of push you out of your comfort zone, right? So if you're interested in being a leader, then I definitely encourage you to step up. But this is a learning curve, right? So this is an opportunity. We're all learning in this particular process. Dr. Devine, Dr. Pineda, myself, this is a learning curve. But if you're interested, in kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone and taking advantage of an opportunity to step up and be a leader, then this would be an opportunity for you to do that. But this isn't like a formal training segment, or it isn't like a nurturing. This isn't like a thing where we'll be mentoring you in your position. It's just, an opportunity for you to step up. You're interested in collaborating, you're interested in networking, you're interested in helping to build the committee and contributing, then being a leader and stepping up and showing your interest in being a leader, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to do so. I see Vernell has his hand raised. Vernell, if you could introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, I'm Vernell Wilson, and I graduated from Walden University in December of 2019. And my degree is in, I obtained my master's in leadership. And my question is, I'm interested in being a subcommittee leader and maybe speaking as well as in other areas. But as far as speaking, would I choose the subject matter, or do you have pre-established subject matters for speakers?
Great question. So we wouldn't necessarily choose your subject matter. Essentially, it would be still around the confines of career and professional development. So as long as your subject, as long as what you're speaking to and speaking about contributes to the progression of, individuals being able to gain insightful or helpful or progressive information, what you would do is you would submit that idea of what your subject matter is, what it's about, what you're intending to do. You would submit that to the chair and the co-chair and myself. That would be reviewed. We would then move forward and kind of letting you know if it's approved and seeing what other resources we would need to allocate to be able to support you in that.
Okay, great, thank you. And then just one other question. I went on to try to shop for some of the gear for the upcoming March 5th induction ceremony. Mm-hmm. And I got a message that I would have to be inducted in order to purchase those items. Mm-hmm. So there is no way I could actually have those items for the ceremony. I have to wait until after I'm inducted.
Great question. So we will be speaking more about induction ceremony, the processes and things of what you need in order to be eligible for that at the next general member meeting, which will be next week on February 18th. So I do definitely encourage you to tune into that meeting if you have specific questions, because there is a deadline actually approaching that you have to have your induction steps completed by. So that means your S&Ts have to be completed, your speaker series have to be completed, your modules, orientation, everything has to be completed by that specific deadline, which I believe is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think an email went out. I believe it's tomorrow. You have to have your induction steps completed to be eligible to participate in the March 5th induction ceremony. If for whatever reason you don't complete and meet that deadline, we will be hosting another induction ceremony later in the year, so you'll still have a chance to participate in a ceremony.
But I have completed all of the steps.
You have. Oh, okay. Well, if you're having issues then with it stating that you haven't completed the steps, then I would reach out to, I would still send an email to the Walden UNSLS at mail.walden.edu. There is someone who does check on the activity to monitor that. Wanting to speak or looking for subjects to speak to, definitely take a look at the mood board and some of the topics and things that they highlight in the mood board. You can certainly use that as an area of interest or a subject matter to speak to. Is that right, Dr. Pineda?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, no problem, no problem. I think that's all the questions that we have. I thought I saw a question from Manuel. Manuel, we'll take your question and then we'll go ahead and close out for the evening. So Manuel, go ahead. If you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Manuel. I'm based in Canada. I am in the PhD management in Walden right now. So I'm really very interested to join the subcommittees. But so I said count on me. But I don't want to be a leader yet because I'm still doing my dissertation, and it's very tough. So, one of my questions is this. Because I was told in the meeting that I attended before that I can use my company meetings for the S&Ts. Is that right, Krysten?
For the S&Ts, so that's a little tricky. The thing is with an S&Ts, you have to make sure that each person is in a specific role, right? So for instance, if you're the facilitator, you have to have a record keeper, you have to have a timekeeper, you have to have each person within your company meeting fulfill that specific role. You have to create the goals and you have to record and monitor those goals week over week or however frequently you all are having the meetings. So it does get a little tricky, but if you do position and structure your S&T meeting to meet the ramifications that they give with regards to the instructions, then you can still use those individuals to help you in accomplishing those areas for the S&T meetings. So you just would have to structure it according to the guidelines per the Success and Networking Team's instructions.
Okay, but tonight's meeting we're gonna use it for S&Ts, right?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me?
Tonight's meeting we cannot use it for the S&T.
You said for your next meeting you're gonna use for the S&T for your company meeting.
Yeah. So
okay.
Well, of course, all of us has our own goal, but it's not really as structured as what S&T should be. But of course, all of us, all the managers meeting, we have 4 in the committee, and then all of us has our own SMART goals at the end of the week. Because we have our weekly meeting, sort of.
Okay.
But I don't think I can still submit it for tomorrow's deadline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a problem. We don't have a definite date as of yet for the next induction ceremony. More than likely, it'll probably be sometime in the summer to give more people an opportunity to complete their induction steps. But if you don't meet tomorrow's deadline, that's not a problem whatsoever. We'll talk more about the induction ceremony at the next meeting that we'll be having for next week on February 18th. But I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Dr. Divine and Dr. Pineda to go ahead and close us out.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining tonight's call. We do have 2 affirmations that we want to talk about as we depart. We definitely hope that you remain safe and well. I hope that you have Career and Professional Development Committee on your mind, and we would welcome any contributions Our next meeting like this is going to be tentatively scheduled for April. However, with the subcommittees, we will look into having something probably in March in regards to that. But again, we need to get a pool of individuals. So once we receive those emails from you all, we will definitely be reaching out with further information in regard to that, and no pressure at all. So one of the affirmation that we want to talk about is from Walt Disney. It's actually on the screen. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So that's one affirmation. And then the second affirmation I would like for Dr. Pineda.
Motivational speaker and author Brian Tracy reminds us, and I quote, "The key to success is to focus our conscientious mind on things we desire, not things we fear." Leadership, of course, is lifting a person's vision to high heights, is the rising of the person's performance to higher standards, and the building of personalities beyond its normal limitations. So never fear to invest in your self-development in order to guarantee your future.
Excellent. Well, I vote that we adjourn the meeting. The time of adjournment is 8:19 Central. Can someone second?
I second.
Thank you. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, Dr. Devine, Dr. Pineda, thank you so much again. Were there any final words, Dr. Devine or Dr. Pineda, you all wanted to say before we end the meeting?
I would like to definitely thank Krysten for all your help tonight. It was very informative for everyone, including myself. Dr. Pineda, I thank you as well. Everyone that joined the call, hopefully that this meeting was informative, and hopefully we can partner together going forward.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone here for attending the meeting tonight, all you participants, and Dr. Devine and Christy, of course, for all the help and support that you bring us. Thank you for that. And we hope to see you soon so we can begin working with you, developing your career. So please be safe and good night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Divine. Christine.